My name is Christoph Frank. I work as a senior acoustics engineer here at Austrian Audio. I studied, like most of our acoustic engineers, in Graz, sound engineering, and basically financed my studies with working as a live sound engineer, studio sound engineer. And here at Austrian Audio, I became responsible for the condenser capsules. So that's my main thing here. And also we call it systems engineering. So you make sure every component of the microphones, that they fit together. That's what I do. So right now I'm doing some fine tuning of the sound of an upcoming range of products. So that's quite the coolest part of my work, I would say. We also have daily meetings. You know, we have the diverse departments. Electronics are important, acoustics are important, mechanics are important. Everything fits together, so we meet there. As we are a small company still, I'm also doing production support on a daily basis, maybe some quality support, and also lately I'm in close contact again with our plugin developer. So we will have some new things coming up there. So there's not really a daily routine, but I do everything. So we didn't want another copy of a C414, as there are a lot out there. We wanted to make sure we capture what's essential and what people like, and these are more the old C414s, of course related to the older capsules. So we wanted to make sure we get that sound, we get it right, and when we have it, we want to make sure nothing compromises it. So we have this open acoustics concept where the capsule basically sounds the way it sounds without a housing in our microphone. And then we thought, okay, why not give the user more flexibility? It's already a multi-pattern microphone, so let's make it dual output, available for post-production. Let's do the app, let's do the plugin. So all these ideas popped up once we had this good sounding microphone. And I wouldn't see it as a C414, it's really a different beast. The CKR or CK12 capsule, of course, has a long history. You can read it online. There were many different versions, and it's the old version, which is the sound-wise the one which matters. There's a funny story behind that. So Mr. Wolf, the original designer of the capsule, actually told us, he was here for an interview, that the original one actually had a very linear frequency response. And back in the days, they started improving the SNR in the broadcast infrastructure. So the ORF basically, so the national radio station, wanted better SNR microphones, so lower self-noise. So he had to modify the capsule a little bit to have more output, more sensitivity. And this ended up in this especially high-end boosted frequency response, which everybody wants and loves. So actually it's not the first capsule, which is the best one, it's the second generation. And we had the goal of doing everything here in Austria. That means you cannot copy the old capsule, which is copied so often. It doesn't make sense anyway. It's too complicated to manufacture because you have tons of screws and so on. So we have our ceramic capsule design, which is actually patented. So that makes it possible to manufacture them here in a reasonable time, one at a time. And the thing we did is we take close care of the dimensions. In acoustics, dimensions equal sound. So if you have the capsule too big, diameter too big, depth too big, it will sound different. So we took great care. And if you take this old capsule and our capsule, you will see from the outside they are identical. But ours is a little bit more durable due to this ceramic thing, and more reproducible also. So in our OC range of series, which stands for open condenser, we have this open acoustics concept. So where we wanted to make sure the capsule is not corrupted by anything, the grill, whatever. You see, we have a very big microphone grill, for example. We have a lot of innovations in the inside, on the electronic side. So we have a reasonable sensitivity of this microphone with 30 millivolt per Pascal, which is not the highest, but we have an extremely low noise floor. So this, if you know about this going hand in hand between sensitivity and noise floor, you will see that we actually have a very, very low noise amplifier. And we don't only have one, we have two, because we have the dual output. So we have this possibility to do post-production. You can choose your polar pattern after the recording took place, as long as you record with 2 channels. And if you are in a live situation where you also want to fine-tune your polar pattern, you can use our app with our Bluetooth dongle. And from a Bluetooth distance, you can adjust one of 255 polar patterns as you wish, and you can store this as a preset in the microphone, which is great for retailers and so on. So if you want to use our microphone with the remote control, the POLARPILOT, you have to buy the Bluetooth dongle. And you can also have multiple microphones with multiple dongles, because when you pair, like you pair a normal Bluetooth device, you can name your microphone. So you could call one bass drum, one snare, whatever. So also later on you can easily identify them. And then you can adjust the polar pattern seamlessly. So we have in the background it's 255 steps, which you don't see as steps, it's simply a seamless fader. And you can adjust any of these polar patterns. You can adjust your high-pass filter settings, you can adjust your pad filter settings, and you can then store this as a preset in this microphone. So even if the power or the phantom power is off, it will remember these settings. So in a touring situation, you could have your special tuned microphone for overheads, one for the snare, for example, guitar amp, as you wish. So one thing you can also do is, I know it from my live sound experience, in the sound check they play soft, in the concert they play hard. We have an override meter in the app, so you see if your microphone is already in overdrive. So we have 150 dB SPL around, so it will hardly happen, but if it would happen, you will see this in the app, and then you can activate your pad to make sure nothing is distorted from the microphone. So the quality control of our microphones is essential, especially as we build them here in Austria. We want to make sure quality control is, of course, here in Austria. That all starts with the capsule. So we have a humidity test for each and every capsule, where the capsule gets soaking wet, and it needs to work, because this was a problem of the initial old CK12 capsules, which is why there was a second generation made of plastic. Then the microphone itself, the OC818, has, as you know, a ton of polar patterns. We measure each and every one of them. So our measurement takes more than 10 minutes for each microphone. And for measuring the microphones, we actually use, for the OC818 and OC18, the same limits in cardioid mode. So we want to make sure you really can use them together as a pair. When I was hired for Austrian Audio, there were 2 goals from the beginning. So the first one was, of course, to have this large diaphragm capsule, to develop it, to build a good microphone around it. And the second one was, we wanted to make sure we have a place where we can test and assure the quality. So from day one, we started thinking about how can we build an anechoic room, which we are in right now, actually. And we had the possibility to take over some material from our prior company. That helped, and we have here the chance and possibilities to test the microphone. We have automated turntable to measure 360 degree in 1 degree steps. It's dead silent, as you can hopefully hear. The only thing you hear is the noise of the microphone itself.